how to run the Karate API test. So here I'll explain first about the project structure, how it is defined here. So this is a Maven project, and then I'm using Karate version 1.3.1. Under source test Java folder. This is the sample package name, and then under that we created a users folder. Inside the user folder we created a .feature file. In the feature file only we'll define all our test cases. Each scenario will represents one test case. The background section is will be common for across all the scenarios. So in this feature file currently we have two test cases, and then each test case make a calls to some sample website called jsonplaceholder.com. So here the main starting point of the Karate API test is karate config.js. So here we define which environment we are going to use, and then any system defined variable we want to use. So all the configuration we define here. This is the starting point of Karate API test. Cursor will come first to the karate config.js. From here it will go to the feature file where we are running. So we can run like an individual test also here by placing the run test, or you can run in the feature level like placing cursor here and then play the button, so it will run all the scenarios within the feature file. There is another option, the runner file. In runner file also we can use to run multiple feature files, or a single test also we can able to run it. So this is the first video. So we'll just to show the structure, and then what are the configuration available, and then how we define the test. This is the first test. It's checking get all the users and then get the first user by ID. So this is the main URL. This URL is appended the path here. So slash users as the path, and then we are making a get request. So here all the steps are defined in Gherkin language, given, when, and then. So path is like a main your host slash the path, and then method, what method we are going to use. It's a get method, so we are going to use the get method. And then what is the outcome is coming, so we are expecting status equal to 200, and then from the response we are taking the first array like a index of 0, and then we are taking using that index 0 we are able to make another call. So here if you see it is making a two calls. One is a get all users, and then we are picking the first response, and then we are making the first response we stored as first variable. So how you define the variable here is star def first is the how you can create a variable. So from first, if you want to navigate to is sub objects like sub parameter fields, so we can use the dot parameter, and then we can access the variable. So id is the variable we are trying to do the. So first dot id we are using. So path, how it will form the path, take the host URL slash user slash the id coming from here, right? It will form it actually. And then here, what is the action you are going to make it, which method you are going to make call. It's a get method. And finally what you are going to verify, you are verifying status equal to 200. This is the first test. I'm going to run the test, and then I'll show you the result. So I will run it. You can see here the console, we can see the call happened. So get off, you see this host is followed by the users, and then it make the call, and then it's returned to 200. So it returned some JSON object. We'll see. So it returned some JSON object, array of JSON object. In that we taken out of a zeroth element. So the first index the zero index we are taken. From here we are picking the ID. So we are trying to query the user slash first ID. It means a one. We are trying to query it. So this is the first response, and second call, right, within line number 14, it's making a second call. So here slash user slash one, we have taken the ID from here and then appended here, and then it only returns the response of the first element. So it covers two things here. One is a get all and get by ID. It covers both things here. This in console you can see it. And second way to see it, there is a logs created for each test run, like a Karate reports. So if you open a Karate reports, open a summary.html, open with the browser. So here, if you see, this is the HTML file, and then it shows the all the steps in the Karate test, and then it shows the background. What is the background we defined? If you want to see the entire request and response, you can open this get method. It will show the what is the get request you're making, and then what is the response it's returning. So everything you can capture. So here every steps are passed, so it's showing everything is passed. Here it will like shown the step level, here it's shown the scenario level. So next test is the post. So if you want to make a post call, what are the things you need? One is URL, second one is body, third one is headers. So to invoke this API, headers are optional. There is no authentication required. It's a common free API. So here we are forming the request body. So we are defining a JSON object, like a JSON request body, using this. Or you can keep this JSON file in any other JSON file. You can read that file and then you can assign that content to this variable. Second thing is forming the URL. So here itself we given a URL, and then the request here we need to pass the body. So the body is here, and then we are passing the body, and what method we are making? Post method. And what is the expected response we are trying to get? It's verifying 201 is returning in the HTTP status code. We are verifying that, and then we are from the response there is ID field. We are trying to get that ID, and then defining that ID here, and then printing that ID. So let me execute this test case. So here we make the test passed, and then we can see the result. So this is the second test we executed. So if you see the post method, like post state this line, if you open this, it's a hyperlink. If you open it, it will have all the details of the uh, URL you are making, and then what is the request body you are sent, and then what is response returned, the 201 status. Along with that, a response also it's returned. From the response, we are trying to get the ID, and then we are just printing that ID. Yeah, that's all for today. If you have any questions, please comment. I will respond. Thank you.